Is it just me, or does it seem that everyone, and I mean everyone, has drunk the social justice Kool-Aid? I think we can all agree that racism is unequivocally wrong, and that we should all probably rewatch Remember the Titans.
50,000 men died right here on this field, fighting the same fight that we're still fighting amongst ourselves today.
What's also wrong is meaningless violence towards the innocent in response to it. From MRCTV, I'm Jessica Kramer. If you're like me, you've been in a constant haze of social media consumption, watching these riot videos unfold in video after video, and at some point you've probably asked yourself, are there any known demands by these rioters beyond wreaking havoc and looting, burning American cities, defacing monuments, and destroying people and businesses that already took a beating by COVID? If the rioters are part of Black Lives Matter, there sure are. By now, you've probably seen the painted words Black Lives Matter on the streets of Washington, D.C. But what exactly is this bully organization calling for? Well, the DC chapter posted on Twitter it wants to defund the police. Minneapolis City Council has already voted to dismantle their department. They want no new jails. They want to decriminalize sex work and have police-free schools. That sounds safe. Not to mention, they want charges against protesters dropped, a ban on cash bail, and an end to stop and frisk. Along with their efforts to defund police departments, Black Lives Matter wants to redistribute those resources back to the people. Quote, "We demand investment in our communities and the resources to ensure Black people not only survive but thrive," end quote. Black Lives Matter said in a statement according to Forbes. Quote, "For Black people, law enforcement doesn't protect or save our lives, they often threaten and take them," end quote. Let's not forget that half the homicides in the United States are committed by and against Black Americans.
Half the homicides in this country are committed by and against Black people. Last year, there were 14,000 homicides, not talking about suicides, I'm talking about homicides. Half of them were Black, 96% of them Black on Black of that 7,000. Where's the Black Lives Matter people on that?
But they're not gonna address that issue. The reality is that most Black Americans are Democrats, live in urban areas, and vote for Democratic politicians. If the system isn't working for them in their city, then maybe they should try something different.
In Baltimore, where Freddie Gray was killed, Freddie Gray died in a van, I shouldn't say was killed, died in a van. Yeah. You have a city that's 45% Black. City council is 100% Democrat. The majority of city council is Black. The top cop at the time was Black. The number 2 cop was Black. The majority of the command staff is Black. The mayor is Black. The AG is Black. And yet here we are talking about racism.
We've been throwing money at entitlements and the school systems for far too long, as if that's the issue that needs to be addressed. What's for sure not working is the state of the Black American family. One thing I found interesting when taking a look at Black Lives Matter's website, in addition to their liking and use of the word comrade, was how they see the nuclear family as the enemy. Quote, "We disrupt the Western prescribed nuclear family structure requirement by supporting each other as extended families and villages that collectively care for one another, especially our children, to the degree that mothers, parents, and children are comfortable," end quote. Now, this is certainly an attack on Western values, but the family isn't a Western or even Christian construct. It's natural law. It's the pre-existing foundational structure of humanity. But another troubling part to that is that there's no mention of fathers.
And yeah, well, my father got locked up. Well, where was his father?
Why is an organization that claims to be for Black people against the family model and structure that best serves them? For example, 23% of all Black Americans live in poverty, but for married couples, that drops to 8%.
Number one problem domestically facing this country is a breakdown of the family. And President Obama said it, I didn't. A Black kid, or a kid, not just a Black kid, a kid raised without a dad is 5 times more likely to be poor and commit crimes, 9 times more likely to drop out of school, and 20 times more likely to end up in jail. So you're far more likely to end up in jail without having a dad than you are because of a white racist cop.
This is a call to totally demolish the already broken African American community in the United States. Kids don't need neighbors in their business, they need their parents, both mother and father, to care. Maybe if Black Lives Matter would target Planned Parenthood.
Every single day, how many unborn Black babies are murdered in the womb? I will tell you, in aggregate, since 1973, Roe versus Wade, we're looking at over 20 million.
The actual killer of most Black Americans, instead of calling for the abolishment of the police, the crux of the real problem would get closer to being resolved. For MRCTV, I'm Jessica Kramer. Be sure to like and subscribe to our Facebook and YouTube pages for more great videos.